Because you say you could take a topic and turn anything out of it.
Well, let's talk about the stimulus check. You know, the problem with America is that we're waiting for the white man to hand it to us. Oh, you won't like that, do you? that that struck one. I tell you, you you better stop bringing up these folk to me. Um,
Let's not talk about Jason. Let's talk about, these children and their education. Like, I wonder how they're adjusting. I'm pretty sure like the little kids like don't really care because like they don't like school anyways.
Yeah.
But like to people who like the children who like have bookworms, the ones like we would tease and make fun of because they're so smart. Like they're probably taking this as a rough time. They feel like my GPA, and if they're graduating, like they don't get to share those memories.
I'm gonna tell you how I feel about the education system. For anybody who's come through it, anybody that's been seemingly successful in it, anybody who has achieved however much amount of greatness in this life, in this world that they have, or whatever I send grave accolades to them that they have wielded a way through an impossible system. There is, I don't know if you've heard of, I think it's shaped after Einstein, the Academy of Freethinkers. That's not the actual name of the place. I leer to give name to it, but I want to say that only 2% of the country is allowed to even be afforded to go to places like that. It's a place that is not engaging in mathematics and arithmetics. It's not a place that is influenced by the branch of government that has no resounding like identity in the education system at all. Just this past year, they wanted to have the entire school system, public school system, taken over by the government. Now, there's a lot of them that already have their hands in their back pocket at the school, but the problem was that they wanted to make it a corporate thing across the board. Every single school, other than private, has a curriculum that they are state required to go by, which was going to like impose even more restrictions onto that. Let me tell you where this comes from. This comes from the slave mentality of suppression. Not of us to us, but from them to us. And so what happened was we wanted to become educated as slave children and get in this world and thrive in it, because anywhere you put a black man, he will grow, survive, and thrive. I don't care if you put him in the desert. You put us in Africa, and look what we've done with South Africa. You put us here where they couldn't grow anything or shape anything or build anything, and we've built a country on our backs. You do whatever you want to brown skinned people that come from the dirt that we morph and transform. We'll grow anything. And they saw that and hated it. And so they would segregate the schools and put us in a suppressive place of going to public while they went to private. The problem was that we gained the same education, so they changed it. Look at it. When you look at people who are Bill Gates, the Steve Jobs, the Einsteins of history, were not involved in the curriculum education system. They were not. These were people that were taught at home, homeschool, said at home they were told they were too dumb to go to school, couldn't comprehend on everybody's level, understand at the same amount of capacity. So by default, they had to learn at home, was homeschool, or had to drop out at whatever point in time, were the most successful. Most of our presidents, some of the most successful people, dropouts. And it speaks to the ability to lead without being led. And so I feel for anybody who is a bookworm. Feel for anybody who is influenced by the manipulation that these tests that we know after 4th and 5th grade, you need none of that other stuff. So what becomes the point of it? When's the last time you used trigonometry? When's the last time you used algebra 2? When's the last time you use geometry, geometrics. When was the last time you needed to dissect a pig?
Yeah.
When was the last time that you needed to spell super supercalifragilisticexpialidocious? When would you need that? When do I need to know the history of when they stole land from the Native Americans? When did I need to know his story of why they covered up, they bought this land from the Marcos? Why would I need to know that? So they can fill your brain with all this stuff so that you don't think you don't have the capacity to fit any more storage. So when you get out there into the free world, the reason they charge for college, but they give you everything else free, is so that you won't have the drive, because you've already been informed and stepped on and compressed with all the knowledge that is none important.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there looking like this is crazy. But the thing about it is, though, is when did you need any of that stuff past the 5th grade in life? Think about it. Now, tell me if I'm wrong. You've used it. Graphs, diagrams, all that science, the weather, and all of that stuff. With that smartphone in your hand, anything past the 5th grade, what have you used?
Nothing. I mean, just simple counting. Really all you need.
You can do that on your hand.
Yeah, calculators.
So it begs the question, what is it for? It's for the manipulation. The more information I can pack your mind with, the more I put in you, the less you're able to contain, to hold. You can't grow past what your volume is. So you'll never get it. You'll never get there. You'll never be it, never achieve it, because you're so weighted down with useless, pointless information. That's why we don't thrive in college. That's why we don't thrive in universities. And we don't want you go anywhere else, Africa, they don't fill those kids' brains with all that foolishness. That's why they come over here at such young ages and become doctors with PhDs at like 20 and 21 and 22. Because they're not consumed with useless information. And so use this time, parents, to train your children and to spend time with the children and teach the children not to be a employee thinker. This is what they're grooming you for, to go work in the factory, to go work for them, while the people that build the companies, build the businesses are not there. They've dropped out in their building. And God has made you with everything that you'd ever need to survive, to thrive, to build it. That Adam named all of the animals and then take not one day of speech class, 1 day of mathematics, 1 day of English. None of that. And you mean to tell me some Neanderthal on his very first day can name every single animal that we can't even begin to pronounce the names of? And you, after all your schooling, don't even know how to pronounce Shaniqua.